All right, today our viewer question is, they have asked, and I've actually gotten this from several different viewers, but basically they are curious why they still have high cholesterol on a whole food plant-based diet. If you could shed any light on that.
Oh my, this is a very important question, and I've got any number of people on whole food plant-based diets. I've got vegans with high cholesterols, with cholesterols of 220, and they're wondering, their doctor wants to put them on statins, and are they at risk for heart attacks? And I think the answer is no at this point. Why? I'm going to briefly sketch out my answer, but I want to bring everyone's attention to a video I made, a 20-minute video on this very issue called Beyond Cholesterol. And I go into this issue about high cholesterol in vegan people and why they probably don't need to worry about it, assuming they're eating a whole food plant-based diet, not one full of processed junk foods. So go to my website, drklaper.com. It's all spelled out, doctorklaper.com. And click on my video Beyond Cholesterol, and it enlarges on the brief points that I'm going to touch on now. First of all, cholesterol is not an evil molecule. This is why your liver makes it. Your body uses it to make many important structures in your body. Your adrenal glands use cholesterol to make cortisol and adrenal hormones. Your genital organs, if you're a female, your ovaries use cholesterol to make estrogens. If you're a guy, your testes use cholesterol to make testosterone. It's not an evil molecule. It's when it builds up to high levels and becomes oxidized that it starts becoming damaging to the artery walls. So there might be many reasons why in a person eating whole plant foods, their liver puts out a little extra cholesterol. We'll get to that in a minute. But this is different than the person who is eating cholesterol in a meat-based diet. And not only are they taking on much more cholesterol than their liver would normally make, but also because nobody eats raw meat. All this cholesterol has been cooked. That steak has been broiled, that chicken breast has been grilled, and the very act of cooking this animal muscle at high temperature oxidizes that cholesterol. So you're not only eating cholesterol, you're eating oxidized cholesterol, and this is the damaging form that burrows into the walls of the arteries and sets off atherosclerotic plaque formation, etc. So people say, what's your total cholesterol? Oh, it's elevated. Oh, you need to be on statins. No, you need to look at what you're eating. And if you're eating somebody else's cholesterol, if you're eating cow's cholesterol, pig's, chicken's cholesterol, stop that. That's the first and most important thing to do. Now, if you're a long-term plant eater and you still have high cholesterol, that means your liver is putting out a little extra. Now, is it necessarily bad? No, it could be your adrenals needed a little extra to make their cortisol. But also, one theory is that the body uses cholesterol molecules as a storage locker for long-chain fatty acids, for omega-3 fatty acids like DHA and EPA. And because the whole food plant-based diet can often be low in EPA and DHA, the liver will put out extra cholesterol as kind of a scavenger looking around to any DHA molecule, EPA, come over here. You can use me as a garage here until the body uses you. And so the liver might be spinning out extra cholesterol looking for DHA and EPA to harbor. And it might be a sign that you need some more long-chain fatty acids in your diet. And so that's more flax seeds and walnuts and chia seeds and dark green leafy vegetables. But that might be a reason why your liver is putting out extra cholesterol. And finally, in my Beyond Cholesterol video, I make the point that these atherosclerotic plaques do not form on the walls of the artery just because your total cholesterol is high. These are inflammatory lesions. These arteries are being injured by the owner of the artery meal after meal if they're eating the standard Western diet of fried chicken and cooked animal protein and high temperature vegetable oils from the French fries full of free radicals, phosphoric acid from the cola drinks, high fructose corn syrup, all the emulsifiers and the processed foods that injure the artery walls. The modern cuisine is an assault on the arteries, and this is really what opens the door to atherosclerosis. It's not just what your total level cholesterol is. So because this is an inflammatory process from artery abuse, when a vegan comes to me with high cholesterol, I want to measure not so much their particle size of their cholesterol. I want to know their inflammatory markers. I want to know their oxidized cholesterol, their high sensitivity CRP, their myeloperoxidase, prostaglandin 2, isoprostane, their phospholipase. These are all molecules that go up when that inflammatory fire is burning in the walls of the arteries from the atherosclerotic process. If a vegan, a long-term vegan eating lots of salads and greens comes to me with an elevated cholesterol, but I check their inflammatory markers and they are stone cold negative, I'll tell them, relax, you don't have the disease of atherosclerosis. I will, if needed, I will send them over for an ultrasound scan of their carotid arteries. And if they are slick and clean and with nice laminar flow of the blood, relax. You don't have the disease of atherosclerosis, even though your cholesterol might be 218. You don't have to go on statins. You don't have that disease. So in medical terms, there's a difference between hypercholesterolemia, elevated cholesterol, and the inflammatory disease of atherosclerosis. They're not necessarily the same. Now, in most meat-eating Americans, they are the same. The folks who are eating all the cholesterol, et cetera, they have high cholesterol and they have the disease of atherosclerosis from what the food carrying that cholesterol is doing to their arteries. But the cholesterol that's being made by the liver in a vegan's body is not atherogenic unless the person is also eating lots of vegan junk foods and oils and sugars, etc. So again, here's where that whole food plant-based diet comes in. If you're not eating those junky sugars and fries and processed foods and your cholesterol's a bit up, check your inflammatory markers. Quest Labs, LabCorp, they all do them now. You have your doctor order your inflammatory markers. If they're negative and your cholesterol's a bit up, relax. The odds of you developing atherosclerotic plaque is really, really tiny. It may not be zero, but tiny, tiny. So make that distinction between an elevated cholesterol level and artery abuse causing plaque formation. They're not necessarily the same. And the advantage of a whole food plant-based diet, it keeps you on the good side of those cholesterol numbers. Hope that was clear. Again, if you want a fuller explanation, go to my website, drklaper.com, and see my little video, Beyond Cholesterol. It expands on these ideas. Good question. Thanks for asking it. Hi, everyone. Dr. Michael Klaper here, announcing our new format for our Q&A with Dr. K. Annie Hagen will be asking me one question that's been sent in by our viewers. So if you want to see if your question is getting answered, do join us for our Q&A with Dr. K right here. Hope to see you then.